Good morning, students. In today's class we will see introduction to digital communication. So first unit in digital communication is information theory. So what is communication? Communication is the field of study which involves transmission of information from one place to another. So this is not a new topic for you all. You have already come across the communication and you have studied communication systems in the previous semester. So what are the two basic types of communication? Communication are classified into analog communication and digital communication. So what is analog communication? Analog communication is a data transmitting technique in a format that utilizes continuous signals to transmit data including voice, image, video, etc. So an analog signal is a variable signal continuous in both time and amplitude, which is generally carried by the use of modulation. So here you can see this is the diagrammatic representation of an analog signal. Next is digital communication. So digital communications is the physical transfer of data over point to point or point to multi-point transmission medium. Examples of such media used are it can be a wired media or a wireless media, copper wires, optical wires, wireless communication media and storage media are some of the examples of it. So the necessity of digitization. The conventional methods of communication use analog signals for the long distance communications which suffer many losses such as distortion, interference and other losses including security issues. So to overcome the above said issues, we started using the digital techniques. The digitized signals allow the communication to be more clear and accurate without losses. Next we will see the comparison of analog and digital communication. So first is analog communication. So analog, it is transmitted modulated signal is analog in nature. In digital it is train of digital pulses. In analog communication, the amplitude, frequency or the phase variations in the transmitted signal represents the information or the message. In case of digital, the amplitude, width or the position of the transmitted pulses is constant. The message is transmitted in the form of code words. Analog communications, the noise immunity is poor for amplitude modulation but improved for frequency and phase modulation. In case of digital, the noise immunity is excellent. In analog, it is not possible to separate out the noise and the signal, therefore the repeaters cannot be used. But in digital communication, it is possible to separate the noise from the signal and therefore repeaters can be used. In analog communication, the coding is not possible, but the coding techniques can be used to detect and correct errors in case of digital communication. Bandwidth required is lower than that of the digital modulation method in case of analog, and in case of digital, due to higher bit rates, higher channel bandwidth is required. Frequency division multiplexing is used for analog communication systems and time division multiplexing is used in digital communication systems. Analog communication systems are not suitable for transmission of secret information in military applications, but due to the coding techniques, it is suitable for the digital communication is suitable for military applications. So the types of analog modulated systems are AM, FM, PM, PAM and AWM, etc. Digital modulation schemes are PCM, pulse code modulation, delta modulation, ADM, that is adaptive delta modulation, DPCM, that is differential pulse code modulation, etc. Now we will see the block diagram of a digital communication system. So the different elements of it are, initially we have a source of information. So the main purpose of communication system itself is to transfer information from one place to another. So we have the source of information. If the source of information is digital, directly we can give it to the source encoder. Suppose if the data is analog, like the voice signal, in that case we have to convert that into digital and then give to the transmitter, digital transmitter. So what is the first block present in a digital transmitter? It is the source encoder. What does it do? It converts the source symbols into a code word. So the source encoded signal has to be given to the channel encoder. So to increase the noise immunity when the signal is transmitted into the channel, we go for channel encoding process. So it converts the source code into a channel code word. Then before transmitting into the channel, we have to convert it into analog by performing modulation. So the type of digital modulation techniques used are any of the above said methods like delta modulation, pulse code modulation, differential pulse code modulation, adaptive delta modulation. So with the help of those modulation, the signal will be converted into a waveform, that is code word will be converted into a waveform and it is transmitted to the channel. So this second part is the receiver. The received signal is first demodulated, that is the reverse process of whatever takes place in the transmitter will take place at the receiver end. So after the demodulation process or after the recovery of the code word from the modulated signal, we estimate the channel code word. The estimated channel code word is given to the source decoder, which provides the estimate of the source code word, and finally we get the estimate of the message signal, which is given to the user at the receiver end. The source can be an analog signal, example sound wave. Source encoder. The source encoder compresses the data into minimum number of bits. This process helps in effective utilization of the bandwidth. It removes the redundant bits, unnecessary excess bits. Channel encoder. The channel encoder does the coding for the error correction. During the transmission of signal, due to the noise in the channel, the signal may get altered, and hence this channel encoder avoids and adds some redundant bits to the transmitted data, using which we can detect and correct the errors at the receiver side. So to increase the noise immunity, we go for the channel encoding process. Next is the digital modulator. The signal to be transmitted is modulated here by using a carrier. The signal is also converted into analog form, the digital sequences, in order to make it travel through the channel or the medium. So next comes the channel. The channel or the medium allows the analog signal to transmit from the transmitter end to the receiver end. Next, the reverse process takes place in the receiver side. The first is the digital demodulator. This is the first step at the receiver end. The received signal is demodulated as well as converted again from analog to digital form. So the signal actually is reconstructed here. Next is the channel decoder. The channel decoder, after detecting the sequence, does some error corrections. The distortions which might occur during the transmission are corrected by adding some redundant bits. This addition of bits helps in the complete recovery of the original signal. Source decoder. The resultant signal is once again digitized by sampling and quantizing, so that the pure digital output is obtained without the loss of information. The source decoder recreates the source output. Finally, we get the output signal after all the retrieving process. Example, we get back the sound signal at the receiver end. So now we will move on to the information theory. So what is information theory? Information theory is concerned with the fundamental limits of communication. So what is the ultimate limit to the data compression? What is the ultimate limit of reliable communication over a noisy channel? Example, how many bits can be sent in a second over a telephone line. So all these things we analyze in what is called as information theory. Information theory is a branch of probability theory which may be applied to the study of communication systems that deals with the mathematical modeling and analysis of communication system rather than with the physical sources and physical channels. So why this probability is coming into picture here? So this is very important. We are dealing with communication systems. Whatever signal we generate, we transmit in the channel. So channel, analyzing the characteristics of the channel is really very important for design of any communication system. So the channel characteristics is probabilistic in nature or random in nature. So probability theory is coming into picture. The two important elements presented in this theory are binary source BS and the binary symmetric channel represented by BSC. A binary source is a device that generates one of the two possible symbols. So binary means it's either 0 or 1 at a given rate are measured in symbols per second. These symbols are called bits. Bits is a shrinked version of binary digits and are generated randomly. The binary symmetric channel is a medium through which it is possible to transmit one symbol per unit time. So the information theory tries to analyze communication between a transmitter and a receiver through an unreliable channel, and in this approach performs an analysis of information sources, especially the amount of information produced by a given source, states the condition of performing reliable transmission through an unreliable channel. So the source information measure, the channel capacity measure and the coding all are related by one theorem known as Shannon's theorem. The channel coding theorem is stated as follows. That is, if the information rate of a given source does not exceed the capacity of the given channel, then there exists a coding technique that makes possible transmission through this unreliable channel with an arbitrarily low error rate. So this actually gives what is the condition with which we can use an unreliable channel to transmit data with low error rate. So what is the condition to be satisfied? It simply states that the information rate of the source should not exceed the capacity of the channel. So R should be always less than C. So entropy. Entropy is defined in terms of probabilistic behavior of the source information. Capacity is defined as the intrinsic ability of the channel to convey the information. It is naturally related to the noise characteristics of the channel. Information source. An information source may be viewed as an object which produces an event, the outcome of which is selected at random accordingly to a probability distribution. The set of source symbol is called as source alphabet and the elements of the set are called as symbols or letters. Information source can be classified as having memory or being memoryless. So a source with memory is one for which a current symbol depends on the previous symbol. In that case we call it as memory source. A memoryless source is one for which each symbol produced is independent of the previous symbol. So in this unit we will be discussing only about DMS, that is discrete memoryless source. A discrete memoryless source can be characterized by the list of symbols, the probability assignment of these symbols and the specification of the rate of generating of these symbols by the source. So uncertainty, information and entropy. So what is information content of a signal? We have a discrete memoryless source which is going to generate symbols continuously. So let us consider the symbol which emits a discrete source during every unit of time. This unit of time we call a signaling interval, randomly from a set of fixed alphabets denoted by S. So what is the alphabet that, what is the symbol that S is going to contain? It is going to contain the symbols S0, S1, S2, etc. up to Sk minus 1. So the source alphabet S is represented as S0, S1, S2, etc. up to Sk minus 1. And we assume that all these symbols are available or occurring with the probability represented by Pk, where k is equal to 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. up to k minus 1. You already know that the summation of the probability should be always equal to unity. So summation over k equal to 0 to k minus 1, probability Pk should be equal to 1. So the source symbol which emits a discrete source during signal interval which is independent of previous value having these property is described as discrete memoryless source. That is, it is generating sources with the probability represented by Pk, and the summation of all the probability has to be equal to 1, and the occurrence of one symbol is that do not depend on the previous symbol. So when all these conditions are satisfied, we call this as a discrete memoryless source. I'll repeat, the source which emits a symbol which emits a discrete source during signaling interval which is independent of previous value having these property is described as DMS, that is discrete memoryless source. Discrete memoryless source, if an event S is equal to Sk, describes the emission of symbol Sk by the source with the probability Pk. So assume that Sk symbol is transmitted or emitted with the probability Pk. Now, whenever some event occurs, you must have some information that is gained. So the amount of information gained, it is represented by Ik, is inversely proportional to the probability of occurrence Pk. So the formula for information or the amount of information gained is given by Isk is equal to log this, the log base is always taken as 2, log to the base 2, 1 by Pk. So in simple terms, amount of information gained is inversely proportional to the probability. So why do we say this amount of information gained is inversely proportional to? So if you are certain about some event that is going to happen, then you are not going to get any surprise news, or you are not going to get any information, new information from that, because you already know that this is going to happen. If something happens surprisingly, then you will have more information to be gained. Yes or no? So let us see an example. Consider a statement, a dog bites a man. What is the probability of occurrence of this event? So it's very natural that we hear in newspapers that most of the day we hear this news somewhere or the other. Dog is biting a man. So the probability of occurrence is very high. So this is not a great news. This is not a new news for us all. Consider the reverse case. A man bites a dog. So that will come in a flash news, because the probability of occurrence of such an event is very, very rare. So a man biting a dog is going to be very, very rare news. So the amount of information that we will gain from it will be very, very large. So we say that both are inversely proportional to each other. So now let us see what are the properties that this information is going to satisfy. The first property it satisfies is I of Sk is equal to 0 for P equal to 1. What do you mean by P equal to 1? If you are very certain about something is going to happen, then you will have the probability Pk equal to 1. So when you are very certain about something is going to happen, then the amount of information gained is obviously 0. That is the first property. What is the second property? Isk is greater than or equal to 0, and for the range where Pk is between 0 to 1. What do you mean by this property? It means that the information gained cannot be negative. It has to be 0, or it has to be something greater than 0. That means if any event occurs with some probability, you will have either no information gained or you will have some information gained. You will not have negative information. So information gained cannot be negative. It has to be greater than, or it in the first case it is equal to 0, so it can also be equal to 0. What is the third property? I of Sk is greater than I of Si if Pk is less than Pi. So this is again comes to this relation, that is information gained and probability, they are inversely proportional to each other. So when probability Pk is less compared to Pi, obviously the information gained by the concerned symbol Sk will be greater when compared to Si. So larger probability is going to have lesser information, and lesser probability of occurrence is going to have more information. That is the concept here in the third property. What is the fourth property? If you have two symbols Sk and Si which are independent, then the mutual information gained will be equal to summation of the individual informations. So I of Sk comma Si will be equal to I of Sk plus I of Si. So the amount of information gained after occurrence of the event S is equal to Sk, which occurs with the probability Pk, is a logarithmic function, and it is given by this formula. I of Sk is equal to log to the base 2 1 by Pk. That is, in simple terms, I and probability are inversely proportional to each other. So this formula can also be written as minus log to the base 2 Pk for k equal to 0, 1, etc. up to k minus 1. So if you have equiprobable events or equiprobable symbols that is occurring, then the probability will be equal to 1 by 2. Substituting 1 by 2 here in the formula, you will get the answer for information gained as 1 bit. So 1 bit is the amount of information that is gained when one of the two possible and equally likely events occurs. Equally likely or equiprobable means the probability will be equal to 1 by 2. Next is unit. So what is the unit of information gained? Unit will be equal to bit, which is a short form of binary unit, when the log base is going to be 2. So when you have log to the base 2, the unit here is bit. Instead of log base 2, if the log is going to have 10, log base 10, then the unit will be Hartley or decit. Instead of 2 or 10, if the logarithm is going to have the base n, natural logarithm, then in that case, or you will have the unit as nat, natural unit. So next is the entropy. The amount of information I of Sk produced by the source during an arbitrary signaling interval depends on the symbol Sk emitted by the source at the time. I of Sk is discrete random variable that takes the value I of S0, I of S1, etc. up to I of Sk minus 1 with the probabilities P0, P1, etc. up to Pk minus 1 respectively. The mean of I of Sk over the source alphabets S is given by the entropy. Represented by H of S. So H of S is equal to expectation of I of Sk, which is summation k is equal to 0 to k minus 1, the product of Pk into I of Sk. And we already know I of Sk is log to the base 2 1 by Pk. So what is the formula for entropy? Entropy H of S is equal to summation k is equal to 0 to k minus 1, the probability Pk log to the base 2 1 by Pk. So entropy is defined as measure of the average information content per source symbol. So the entropy of the binary source H of S is equal to minus 1 by 2 log to the base 2 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 log to the base 2 1 by 2, which is equal to 1 bits per symbol. This is for an equiprobable event. So now we will see the properties. So the first property of entropy is H of S is equal to 0. So if the probability of occurrence Pk is equal to 1, then the entropy is equal to 0. This we call as no certainty. Next is the upper bound, that is H of S is equal to log to the base 2k if and only if Pk is equal to 1 by k, where all the k are equiprobable. So this condition corresponds to maximum uncertainty. Entropy means it is uncertainty. So the lower range of entropy is 0 and the upper range or the maximum limit of entropy is log to the base 2 k. So that is given by the next property. So h of s ranges between 0 to log to the base 2 k, where k is the number of symbols of the alphabets of the source s. The last property is the extended DMS property, that is h of s power n or s power n is given as the product of n into h of s. For example, if h of s is given and if you are asked to find the value of h of s cube, in that case what you can do, 3 into h of s will give you the answer for h of s cube. So this formula we call as extended DMS, discrete memoryless source. Information rate. So if the time rate at which S emits the symbol is small r, the information rate capital R of the source is given by product of small r into h of s, bits per symbol, where capital R is the rate of information, small r is the rate at which the symbol is emitting, the source is emitting the symbol, and h of x is the entropy, which is also called as average of information. So in this we have seen what is information. Information is represented by I. Average of the information is represented by entropy, represented by h. Now let us do a problem. Consider the discrete memoryless source with the source alphabets S0, S1, S2 with the following probabilities: 1 by 4, 1 by 4 and 1 by 2. You are asked to find the entropy. So what is the formula for entropy? We know the formula, h of s is equal to summation p of k log to the base to 1 by p of k. So now k is having three values, p0, p1 and p2. So p0 log to the base to 1 by p0 plus p1 log to the base to 1 by p1 plus p2 log to the base to 1 by p2. Now you are substituting the value. p0 is 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 log to the base to 1 by p0, that is 1 by 4 is having the value 4. 1 by 4 log to the base to 1 by 4 is 4. 1 by 2 log to the base to 1 by 2 is 2. So how will you calculate this log base 2 of 4? It is log 4 divided by log 2. So how will you calculate this parameter here? First you have to find what is log 4. You have to divide that value by log 2. Then you have to multiply by 1 by 4. So when you do, you will get the answer as 3 by 2 bits. So direct substitution of the formula. So next is calculate the amount of information if pk is 1 by 4. So pk is given, you are asked to find what is I. So what is the formula for I? I of sk is equal to log to the base to 1 by pk. So substituting the formula, log to the base to 4. So it is log 4 divided by log 2, which is 2 bits. So next problem, a source symbol emits one of the four symbols during each signaling interval with the probabilities 0.4, 0.3, 0.2 and 0.1. You are asked to find the amount of information gained for each symbol. So that is, you have to find I of P0, I of P1, P2 and P3. The total I is not asked. If total I is asked, then it has to be summation of all this. Now individual sources information gained is asked. So we know the formula, P of I of sk is equal to log to the base to 1 by pk. So substituting for P of I of P0, we get value as 1.3219 bits. I of P1, it is log to the base to 1 by 0.3, which is 1. So how will you calculate this? First you find what is 1 by 0.3. Find the log of that value divided by log 2 will give you this 1.7369. I will repeat. Find what is 1 by 0.4. Find the log of that. Divide the value by log 2. and then you will get the answer as 1.329. Finally, for I of P2 and I of P3, it is 3.3219 bits. So I hope this video would have given you an idea of what is digital communication, what is the information and entropy. Thank you one and all.